Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh to all the Rip Hadith disciples, YouTubers, and viewers. Welcome back to a new video on Rip Right HD. And who do we have the pleasure of sitting with?
My name is Sheikh Mohammed Jabir bin Hisham. I'm a first generation Muslim born on Islam. I'm the son of the late Hajj Jabir. He is the man who actually officiated the Janazah services for Hajj Malik Shabaaz, aka Malcom X, under unfavorable circumstances. I'm also the co-author of my father's first edition, I Buried Malcolm, a contributor to 2 chapters, The Malcolm I Buried, a timeline of Malcolm's transition. As we know, Malcolm invented himself more than one time. So we captured those nuances in his life until he reached his full perfection and as a Sunni Muslim, mashallah. And also, I'm also the author of Color Me Muslim, a biography of my life growing up, alhamdulillah. And I'm working on right now the most controversial subject around
Don't give them too much yet.
Hajj Malik Shabaaz's life.
Don't give them too much.
And it is, we're beyond who killed Malcolm, but we are concerned with why Malcolm was killed.
Ayo.
And that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, alhamdulillah. No, we appreciate the Sheikh taking some time with us. What I found real interesting about his story in particular is obviously he buried Malcolm X, and I'm like a big supporter of Malcolm X because I did time in prison and I actually read Malcolm's book and the killing and everything that happened from him reverting from NOI, right, into Islam in particular. So right now we're just going to give like a brief of exactly why he decided to dig even deeper after the killers were obviously known, found, did time in prison. Why go even beyond that?
That's a very interesting question, and that is actually the premise of the book, why Malcolm was killed. As we know that there was a huge suppression of information, that the investigation was stopped after the 3 men were convicted and sentenced to life in prison. However, we know that according to the affidavit of the one who admitted, Talmaj Haya, that those men were innocent. And just recently, they have both been exonerated from those charges.
Out of the 3?
Out of the 3, 2 of them, Norman Butler and Thomas 15X, as we know, Khilal Islam and Aziz was actually exonerated from that, and they have been awarded, millions of dollars for that, for their own conviction. And of course, those records lay dormant for many years. And of course, the FBI and all the other agencies had a file on the description of those men who were in there. And what is unique about my new book, Why Malcolm Was Killed, that I'm go beyond the guns that or the smoking guns. So I'm looking at the actual infrastructure that was actually assigned to protect the life of Malcolm. And we have people that were actually eyewitnesses to the actual assassination, but they never went to trial. So
never testify.
Never testify before the jury. Their testimonies were actually concealed in affidavits. And of course, innocent men suffered dearly, from that misinformation. So I'm bringing all of that out in the book. It's not an assault or attack on anyone. It is history. And I think that the truth needs to be told.
Yes, and just for the record, we're going to give you a clip of exactly, a mock-up of how that book looks. And I believe that this is profound. And like he just said, it's not attack on anybody. This is history. History has to be told, right?
Yes.
So we appreciate Mohammed Jabir. We just wanted to give a prelude of what's to come. And obviously this book, Why Malcolm Was Killed, is going to be available on
IBuriedMalcolm.com.
IBuriedMalcolm.com. So once this video is released, obviously I'm going to put everything in the description. We want to give a shout out to the Sheikh once again for doing his due diligence in researching why Malcolm was actually killed. And also giving us that benefit of the book, his father actually doing the burial of Malcolm, which is profound. And that's something that I also wanted to touch on, now that I remember, is he said after the burying of Malcolm, your father took on that heavy weight. What were the repercussions?
Oh, there was serious repercussions because, number one, as we know, when Malcolm became a Sunni Muslim, there was a mass suppression of that aftermath. You know, my father actually was cited in the Black History Ebony Encyclopedia. His picture is there.
Allahu Akbar.
He's in many photos. However, his name is never mentioned. So it's a suppression so that the people would not be able to connect Malcolm's full development to Sunni Islam, because it would have created a ripple effect and it would have had more dynamic impact on the Muslim revival. So Malcolm was frozen in time as a black nationalist, you know what I'm saying, as a Pan-Africanist, and no one is actually familiar with that transition because, as you know, Malcolm was assassinated in 1965, and Alex Haley wasn't privy
To
to
what
that
was going
going
on.
on and that aftermath. And of course, my family was held at bay. My father's life was threatened. He had to actually relocate us at a safe haven so there was no harm come to us. So we lost that luxury of the Baba or that father's home type, you know, relationship because of the atrocities that followed after the assassination of Malcolm X. So yeah, we suffered dearly as well.
And you mentioned that when people would ask, even people that were not necessarily a threat, he would give them different information about where you guys are
Yes,
located.
yeah, that was what deterrent, you know, and I found it out later because uh, brothers would come up to me, elders, and say, "Oh, you learned Arabic when you was in Morocco, or you was in Saudi or Sudan," and they said because when we would talk to your father, he would say you all in this place or that place, and we would also provide him with resources to so that we would be taken care of. So I thought that was very surprising because we weren't able to come into our father's house until we actually reached the age of 12 because he wanted to
SubhanAllah.
keep us out of the line of danger and so forth and so on. So
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, it's a very unique experience. But my father has championed the legacy of Hajj Malik Shabaaz to make sure he's not buried in the annals of history as a black nationalist, as a Pan-African, but a Muslim who came forward with the Shahada, Ashhadu an la
La
ilallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And he's our brother forever in Islam. And may Allah give him the station of a
Ameen.
Shaheed in the Jannah.
Ameen.
Ameen. Ameen.
Ameen. La. So we currently at a super dope event. So I just wanted to touch on that particular subject. And then we ask that Allah give Sheikh Muhammad Jabir.
Yes,
No.
Alhamdulillah.
Tawfiq was that.
Ameen. Ameen.
Ameen. Ameen. So y'all already know what time it is. Stay tuned, y'all. Stay rip, six pack, big back, big fat.